Hello, faithful listener, and welcome to Enquiring Minds with me, Stephen Edmonds. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat today. I was always told during my extensive training in journalism to always expect the unexpected. Always be ready to document life as it happens around you, and I have lived up to that. I was recently at my local banking establishment when an armed gunman burst in and held the whole bank hostage. Now, while other people quivered and wet themselves and hid beneath tables, not me, faithful listener, not me. I got out my recording equipment and documented this amazing event. So I am just going to take you to today's show, and I warn you, it's not for the faint of heart. Unless you are strong-willed like me or on severe antidepressants, also like me, I would not listen. No, you know what? No, I'm gonna record this. You're gonna be on tape. You're gonna be on the record. I want to know why I'm being declined a bank loan. I have been a loyal customer here for many years. Oh, when I was on TV all the time, when I was on the radio all the time, there was no problem with these loans and the overdrafts. But now I've fallen on hard times. I miss. Really, realistically, what are we talking about here? I miss 6, 7 payments. I know. All of a sudden, I'm marked with the brand of bad credit. Well, I think it's disgraceful. I think you should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, what is...
Everybody on the floor! This is a good old-fashioned bank robbery!
What is happening?
Like you see in the movies!
What is happening?
Hello, yes, everybody, don't look at my face! Everyone on the floor, you there with the blouse on the floor, thank you, you sir, yes, those are smashing shoes you have on.
What is happening?
On the floor, who's in the back there? Is someone in an office?
Every man for himself! Every man for himself!
Hello, what's going on in here? This is your office, my lord. There seems to be a chap behind a ficus over there. Is he part of the office? Is he your ficus boy? I say ficus boy. Ficus boy. Ficus boy. Yes.
I have no money. I am.
Are you watering a ficus?
No, but I will if you want to.
Yes, come join the hostages, my laddo. Come join the. Hello. What's your name?
Are you gonna make me do sex stuff?
No, well, we'll see what the schedule permits, won't we, young man? What are you doing back here in the offices? Are you a boss?
No,
Are you a boss, man?
No, I'm a journalist.
You're a journo. You're not a boss, man. That's fantastic news, because I hate boss men.
Yeah, I can record this. Would you be okay with me documenting this?
Document? What are you going to document?
I have a podcast.
A podcast?
Yeah.
What the dickens is a podcast?
It's like a...
Is it something to do with banks?
No.
Is it a bank kind of foretelling? A newsletter?
Yeah.
Is this where's the printing
I can
press?
explain if you'll stop.
Yes, let me sit down. I'm getting quite excited.
Okay.
This man's still sitting here looking at me. Hello, what's your name?
I think he's the bank manager.
You're the bank manager. I do so hate bank managers. Do you know where the money is? Do you know where? Yes, well, you best get it for me. I say, young Thorogood, come sit with me and we'll talk to the bank manager.
My name is...
Now, Thorogood here, hello. Thorogood here is going to do a podcast with me.
My name is Stephen.
Is the bank manager going to be on the podcast, Thorogood?
Well, I'm already recording, so technically, yes, I suppose.
Oh, wonderful.
I mean, he can do... well, to be honest, I'm only recording because you refused me a bank loan, so
He
I suppose...
declined you a loan?
He
On
did.
Whatever were the grounds of such a thing? You water the ficus. That's a very good-looking ficus. Do you not appreciate a man who does a good job? I'm going to reach over this table. I'm going to punch him in the face.
No, that's...
You water the man's ficus.
Not necessary.
He bled ever so easily. Oh, gosh, I hope he's not dead.
He's not. I can see the blood kind of squirting
look,
as he breathes.
Oh,
I mean, watch his chest
Lord.
there, up, down, blood.
My old bones, Thurgood.
I would
I
like
am
to
not
be on,
as spar as I used to be, but
to be on record saying I didn't ask you to do that.
Gosh, I leapt across the table there, didn't I?
So this is a real thing.
That reminds me of my old track and field days. I used to be quick as a whippet.
This is a real thing that's happening. You're actually holding this bank hostage?
I'm not holding a bank hostage. That's ridiculous. I have hostages in a bank I'm robbing. Come hither, Thurgood. Let me explain to you how this works.
There's no need to
what
touch.
happens now is I get someone from the staff to empty the vaults into these bags that I brought.
Okay.
And I just sit back and let all the inner workings of the machine go about their business, as it were. So I'd usually have a bank manager involved, but this fella seems to be dead.
Yeah,
Don't let his death be on your conscience, young Thurgood.
Okay.
I've killed many men, and only a few of them have stayed on my conscience, and not one of them has been a bank manager. Okay. If you understand what I really... Shower of bastards. Shower of bastards, as my dear mother would say.
Come in, get
bank
the money.
managers and taxi drivers, Thurgood. All bastards, is what she said. So yes, they're going to empty the bags. Who's going to empty the bag for me? Anybody who fancies being my helper for the day out there?
Well, I'm
Excuse
obviously
me,
podcasting, so I can't be an accomplice.
Yes, you keep podcasting. I'm going to go talk to the involuntary helpers, as it were.
Okay, Stephen. Okay, just breathe in control.
Okay, everybody. Now one of you is
Mississippi.
going to be my helper today, and they're not going to die. Someone else might
3
die
Mississippi.
if they don't help.
4 Mississippi. You're a
Thurgood
journalist.
and I are robbing this bank.
He keeps calling me
And
Fairgood.
we
I
are
don't
going
know
to take
why.
all the money. Well, more precisely, you're going to take the money from the back.
You're a journalist.
This lady over here, what's your name?
Calm head.
Carol?
Cool head.
Carol is your name, Carol? Okay, Carol.
You were
hello,
trained for this?
Nice to meet you.
You studied for this. You paid.
And now, you
well,
empty all the bags.
you
can
borrowed.
take a
You had
helper
a
if
student
you
loan
want.
for this. You
Take
never
a
really
helper, I don't
paid
mind.
back.
And you empty the bags, and I
You
shall
can
be in
do
the
this. You
office
can
with
document
Thurgood
this.
over
This is
there.
Nobel
and
Prize.
we will be talking about
Nobel
days
Prize.
gone by.
Nobel
As
Prize.
I say, it shouldn't take you too long. But come find me when you're done. Come find me when you're done, okay? I'm going back to the office now, and I'm going to sit down in this chair.
Hi, yes, hello. I'm going to be interviewing you.
An
person
interview?
with a gun.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous.
So
Don't mind the gun. It's just for the fear mongering.
Right.
See.
So
I'm
you
not
don't
going to
intend.
shoot you.
You don't intend to shoot anyone.
I'll shoot someone if I have to. I've shot people before. I've shot men. I've shot women. I've shot dogs. On one occasion, Stephen, I shot an antelope.
Would there be any
And
chance
it wasn't
of
a
you...
wild antelope either. It was one that had wronged me in a zoo.
Right.
So I took the time, Stephen, and I went back there in the night, and I shot him in the face.
Well, that's harrowing. Okay. So there's no chance of you sort of like lying to me and telling me that you don't intend to shoot
No, it wasn't
anyone?
a lion, Stephen. It was an antelope.
Okay, right.
I have killed a lion, but that wasn't in the zoo. Thurgood.
Okay.
It was on the Serengeti, I believe it was. See, I was a worldly man. I've travelled many different places, and there was one time in the Serengeti when my young ward, who I had at the time, his name was Flask, and he wanted ever so much to be a huntsman. So we went to the Serengeti to hunt for. We went to the Serengeti to hunt for elephants, I believe it was. And of course, he was trampled to death on the first day, which really put a downer on the whole outing.
Would you still say he was your ward if he died?
Well,
in
none
one
of
day?
these flattening the ground, Thurgood.
No,
What
okay.
good would he be as a ward there? A man needs a ward to take to social events to rub off his better qualities on, and with the occasional boy fight.
Oh, okay. So let's start from the beginning. Am I allowed to ask your name? Don't shoot me!
I wasn't shooting you, Stephen. I was just inspecting the barrel of the gun. Would you like to hold it?
No, I will
Have
not.
you ever
like
held a
it.
weapon
Oh,
of
that's
death?
heavy.
Catch, there you go.
That's heavy.
There
That
you
is
go.
heavy, and it's
Yes.
metal, and it's cold, and it's.
It feels like death, doesn't it? The cold embrace of death, Stephen.
I feel like my finger's about to pull the trigger, even though it's nowhere
Oh, it's
near.
talking to you.
I'm gonna give it back to you. I'm gonna hand it back to you.
This is the gun my grandpapa, Poopa, as I called him, brought back from the Boer War, of all things. Only these were different days, you understand, the days of the Boer War. And it was the men in the red coats against the darkies, because you can't say darkies anymore,
So
Stephen.
would you say criminal activity it runs in your family?
Well, I don't care for the term criminal. I don't care for the term
neither do
criminal.
I, neither do I.
don't think Poopa would have cared for the term.
I mean,
he was there in Africa.
it was that woman over there
killing
who
those
told me to say it.
Aboriginals for the good of the Queen, who, let's face it, is a charming old lady, a smashing old bird, who I would go back to war for in a second, Stephen.
Okay.
Myself, though, no, I'm not a criminal.
Okay.
I'm a man of adventure and a man of leisure. I have committed crimes in the past. I've robbed boats, banks, buses, trains, and I've robbed the occasional pharmacy.
So this isn't your first heist.
heavens, no, Stephen!
Okay.
Christ! I believe the first heist. I think it was a bank in Norwich. It was, yes, it was a bank in Norwich, and I robbed it on a lunch break from a job I had as a lollipop man. And I went in there with my big coat and my big lollipop man stick, and I said, you know what, I don't really fancy this working for a living thing, so I bludgeoned a teller to death with a lollipop stick, and I held myself to the cash inside, and I was like, and I thought to myself, I said, gosh, this is a very good way to make a living, and I've been on the run ever since, as it were.
Okay, so you.
Is this what I'm talking into?
Okay, yeah, you know,
That's what I'm
maybe
talking
you
into, because
shouldn't-
you're not writing anything down, so I assume this will be a wireless interview.
Yes, it is, but
I don't care for the wireless much myself, though. When one is at Majesty's Pleasure, the wireless is all you really have to listen to. But of course, there's computers these days, Stephen.
Okay, perhaps this is the wrong thing to be worrying about at a time like this, but you know, this is my only equipment, so if you could just be careful, because evidently I don't have a great financial reliability, so I'm not going to be getting any bank loans anytime soon. You know, this is assuming that I survive. I survive.
You want
I
some
survive.
money? I can
Please
get
let
you
me
some
survive.
money. I think Agnes is done with some of the bag. Let's get Agnes to give you some money.
Oh,
Agnes,
no.
Come in and give Stephen
If the
some
police
money.
are listening to this,
While she's here, would you like a cup of tea? Would you like a cup of tea?
I could go for one,
Carol,
I suppose.
Carol, Agnes and Carol. Oh, you're one and the same. Oh, they're one and the same.
Oh,
They're
it's the same woman.
Incredible. Incredible. Whatever your name is, love. Some money for Thurgood and a cup of tea for Thurgood.
I would have
And
two sugars
anything else?
and no money.
Okay, 2 sugars and some money for Thurgood.
No,
and
okay.
I will have a cocoa. And bring that within 5 minutes, or I will shoot you in the eye. There's a. Don't cry. No, don't cry, because that will slow you down. Go get. Yes, she's going to get the cocoa, Steve. She's going to get the cocoa, Stephen. Now, what were we talking about? Was it the Boer War, or was it the time I got a hand job in the back of the cinema? Oh, you never forget your first handy, do you, Stephen?
I've been told. I mean, I've had. If this is still recording, I've had. You know. I
I've
have done
had many
stuff.
lovers in my days, Stephen. And the first squeezer it stands up there with, the greatest memories of my young childhood. And of course, the poor girl did actually die the day after. And it has nothing to do with touching my genitalia or anything. She was hit by a rogue bus, of all the things.
Were you driving the bus?
I wasn't driving the bus.
Okay,
I was a young
I was
teenage
inquiring.
boy at the time. And gosh, you never really think this is going to happen, do you? You just think it's like the curse on your genitalia. But of course, I found out later there was no such thing as I slayed an absolute tawdry of women. A tawdry.
So okay, so journalist, Nobel Prize. So is this generally how the heist goes? You bludgeon someone, there's
Of course,
tea.
yes. They get to fill the bags, and I wait till the bags are full, and then I go home and I spend the money on cocaine and gambling, basically.
Okay, so there's just to paint a picture for my listeners. I hope people will listen to this. But so there is 24 people cowering around the bank. There's me and the robber, unnamed robber who is with me, and he has a gun, and there is Carol or Agnes. She's making tea, and there's that gentleman behind the desk. He's pushing on some sort of button, and then
He's pushing on a button.
well,
that's
yeah,
not
that guy
good.
over there. He's
Who's
pushing.
pushing on a button? Well spotted, young Thurgood.
Okay.
Now, let me just go into the beginning.
Oh no! I actually.
I say,
Mine's playing tricks on me. That's not what he's doing.
American History X.
Oh,
Yes.
this doesn't bode well.
I'm going to demonstrate a wonderful scene for the movie. It's a young.
Oh.
It's a Thurgood. What's the name of the chap in American History X?
I'm really
Edward Norton. That's it, on the floor.
I'm really more of a Taylor Lautner person.
And crunch.
Oh my god! Oh.
Here we go. Did everybody see that? Yeah, that's what happens. Okay.
I think I'm going into shock.
Yeah.
Is this what shock feels like?
No, they're good. I'm coming back in.
I feel like my fingernails are itchy. Is that
You see, what you need
Is
to
that
do
shock?
is install the fear.
is that shock or is it stroke?
Oh, you'll know
or-
when you're having a stroke, my boy. I've had 8 of them.
Okay.
Terrible experiences.
Oh, so that's what's going on with your eye. It's handsome. It's ruggedly handsome.
Oh, Thurgood,
It's-
you are a devil.
My name is Stephen,
Thurgood. Thurgood, you remind me of a dog I once had.
Okay.
It was a German Shepherd, Thurgood, and her name was Sweet Flash.
I feel like
What
the
was her
dog
name?
died.
What was her name? What's that bloody dog's name? She was a gorgeous creature, Thurgood. She was a gorgeous creature, and I believe her name was Frank. Frank was her name. God, she could run a jort. Could Frank? God bless her.
I feel like they're asking me to distract you while they try and resuscitate the guy who was pressing the button, but I don't want to be confused to be a part of any sort of mutiny.
No,
I am on your side.
You wouldn't do that to me, Frank. No, you're a good boy.
It's Stephen.
The thing about the whole curb stomping and the button pressing is it's standard. It's going to happen. You know.
What's going to happen?
Let them live in their little fictional world where everyone gets out of this alive, because it's not really going to happen that way. They're going to alert the authorities. It's going to take the authorities 20 minutes or so
police
to
are
get
coming.
here. And a good day, they'll get here in 10. And by that time, all the bags will be gathered around my feet, and I shall be off home and one of my many secret escape routes.
The police are coming.
Of course the police are coming, Frank. This is how they do things.
Okay.
You've never been in a bank robbery before,
I
man.
haven't. Not really.
Well, you're in for a wonderful afternoon.
I saw someone get mugged once and I didn't say anything, and maybe this is punishment? I don't know.
Punishment? Dear God, boy, you don't know anything about punishment. I remember I was caught in a jewelry heist in Russia once.
I'm sorry, you're not worried? The police are coming?
How many years did I spend in the gulag? Oh my God, I was so long in the gulag there, Frank.
The authorities are coming?
The authorities?
And you're not. You're fine.
Dash and pass the authorities, Franklin. Dash and pass.
Stephen.
Now, we need to be talking more about my life, as it were, because it strikes me as
I will interview you. I will interview you.
Yes. I'll put the gun down once you start asking the right questions. Not in a threatening way,
Okay.
but I'll be too busy animating with my hands.
Okay.
Oh, and here's young Carol with your tea. Thank you, dear.
Thank you. I guess, who were your bank robbering influences?
My influence, like I said, Stephen, I was very much a self-taught bank robber. I was a young man full of rage and pip and vinegar and semen and all the other things that young men are so full of. And I just started robbing banks one day, and I thought, gosh, this is a good time. But it was my mother said to me, Mutar said to me, she said, you should always do what you enjoy, and if you're good at what you enjoy, then you're doing what you do.
Okay. And
she was insane as a box of bats, was Mutter. And of course I called her Mutter not because we're German, because of her striking resemblance to the rest of the great Mutter. She had arms like fire engines, big, thick, veiny forearms they were. And of course it didn't stop father from beating her, which is a terrible thing to witness when you're a young boy. But of course, I remember the last words I said to my father as I strangled him to death were, "Who's laughing now, Papa? Who's scarred forever now, Papa?" And it was as I felt the life drain from him that I realised, gosh, I've made some right decisions in this thing we call life.
Well, you know what they say. I mean, there is that old saying, if you've had a hard upbringing, you let the podcaster go. That is that old saying.
I've never heard that saying before.
It's really common.
I've heard the saying, if someone upsets you, then strangle them to death.
Have
you ever strangled someone? Have you ever been strangled, Stephen? It's a terrifying experience. I'm going to show you what it's like now. It's like, put my hands around your neck.
I have a condition.
Now imagine I wanted you to die, Franklin. Imagine if I just strangled.
I have an oxygen deficiency.
Yes, you would square, wouldn't you? Yes. And then I've let you go. But if I wanted you to be dead, you'd be dead by now, wouldn't you? But you're a good dog, Franklin, and I wouldn't do that to you.
I am okay. So, your plan? Am I allowed to inquire? Are you with the authorities on the way, and them still piling the bags of money up?
You're so hung up on the authorities, Stephen. I told you the plan is quite
I'm
well
just
in
trying
motion.
to be a good interviewer.
Those other bags piled up there, they're lovely. Yes, very good.
Would you not be satisfied with the 8 bags so far? You want the full vault?
Well, we might as well get them all while we're here. I've got lots of plans for spendings.
Okay.
And they're going to keep piling them up, and we're going to keep talking about my life. Now, I was a boy in Eton for, I'd say, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks, and gosh, the times we hadn't eaten. And of course, at the time, cocaine was a very new thing, Stephen, and once you snorted cocaine off the erect phallus of your classmates, you feel like you're a man amongst the gods. And yes, we were. Of course, there were times we would stumble the streets at night and we would stamp homeless men to death, and then we would all go back to Jimmy Johnson's place for a good snort of the rough stuff. And of course, that's where I got the middle name, the Bruiser, from. Because that's why they call me the Bruiser.
The Bruiser?
Yes, because I'd rip the rails so hard off their dick there would be a nice steady bruise on the end. And of course, they also called me Crank.
Okay, so I hate to cut you off. I don't know what your policy is on like executing interrupters, but I can see sirens outside the window and flashing lights, and I do believe the authorities are here.
It's about that time, then, isn't it? I best go and read the demands.
Time we let everyone go.
The time we let everyone go. Oh, Franklin, you silly pup. Now, we are to go and get someone to read the demands.
I will keep recording, if that's okay.
Talking about Musa for me. She was such a good woman.
Oh my God.
How's your reading level? You look a bit foreign.
He's inquiring about a woman.
Oh dear, okay. No offense to you, good man. I've known many good foreigners in my time, and I've killed an equal amount.
He seems to be referring to this woman as if it's a man.
Because she might survive the day.
He wants someone else.
Robin, hello, Robin. Right, okay. You take this. Yes, you go outside and tell the police what's happening, and you don't.
I'm gonna die here.
Your children, Robin. Yes, they'll all die.
I'm gonna perish. This is the end of me. And I don't know why, but it's the only thing I can think about is I better plug my sponsors while I have a chance.
And what's your name? What do you do for a living?
Today's podcast.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Today's podcast.
I'd imagine it was. Okay, well, I'm going to into the office now to talk with young Hudiger.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Rigby's.
No,
Rigby's bin bags.
Let me sit down. Oh.
They'll help you take out the trash.
Oh, I'm not the youth that I was.
Use my promo code EquireMinds today for 10% off.
Now, Hudiger, I believe we were talking last about the time
I'm ready to comply.
I burnt down a windmill.
We went, but we can do if you want to.
It was the damnedest thing because we were all in Holland.
She's outside. She's reading the demands.
There was me.
The police have
there was
taken the
Ducky
demands.
Henderson. And there was our chum Franklin Fistful. Franklin Fistful was the queerest duck you've ever seen, and he wore a purple lapel every day, Stephen. Have you ever imagined such a crazy thing? And of course, he was high out of his mind on the goofballs, and he wanted to go up to the top of the tallest windmill in the land. And of course, on the way up, he's honking on his crack pipe.
Yes.
He's honking on his crack pipe, and the damn thing fell out of his mouth. Of course, he had no teeth because he'd lost them all to the junk.
To the crack cocaine.
Next thing I know, the thing's burning down. It's like Dante's Inferno. It's like the seventh layer of hell is just open. And gosh, the little windmill windy part, the bit with the arms, just rolled down the hill and it just crushed through the village. And I had no idea how many people it killed, but I really assume it wasn't a lot.
So now the police have your list of demands, and you where are you going from here? Is this the part where you let me go?
No, this is the part I let everybody go, Stephen, because I'll be long gone within 4 minutes. I've got a rather crafty escape plan.
Really?
These blueprints that I found in the public library, you see.
These are old.
This is where the coal miners come to drop in all their goods, and it's a coal cellar. You see this coal cellar? I shall shimmy down into the secret hithers and thithers and out of the coal man's escape, and I shall take off down the alley, and I shall be in the Welsh valleys by the nightfall.
Am I okay to describe it for my listeners?
Of course you can. The Welsh valleys are a wonderful place. They should be described in their entirety. I remember when I was a boy, we would vacation in the Welsh valleys.
The bank robber
has a very happy time.
He's handed me some
miners.
very old blueprints.
And of course, they
he seems to be referring to
all
an
old
tunnel that runs below the bank.
Whenever they tell cops in on them, they would just take a tea break and they'd go back into a new tunnel the next day. Of course, actually, fuck the country right over.
I'm looking at the date in the corner.
Right over.
I am going to have to make this.
Those poor people. No one really knows the struggles of the Welsh.
Mr. Bank Robber, I would like to point out that this blueprint's from 1812. It's from the year 1812.
Well, I don't see how that'd be any problem. It's not a time machine. It's still a bank.
Well,
look, there's the bank. There's the window. There's the bags of money from the bank.
If you look at the blueprint, it says, next door where the multi-story car park is now was a farm, and where the office building is was a cow grazing land. Can you be sure that this tunnel still exists. I don't want to be
it's-
construed to be
I
disobeying
don't
you or questioning
I don't
you.
really go in for planning, Stephen. I'm a man who
don't.
lives on the whim of the world. You know, the whim of the world is what we call it. So I assume it's fine. Let's ask somebody. Hello, is that man who's dead alive? He's gurgling a bit. So
Okay.
we're gonna. Can I get out of a coal door? A coal door, man. That's where coal comes from. What else do you think it's for?
The bank doesn't really use coal anymore. It's like
oh.
electricity and
Oh.
whatnot.
So that door's gone. Oh, the man is motioning that there's no door there anymore.
And I can't help but notice there are SWAT teams building
no,
up outside
bother.
the bank. They
Well,
look at
Stephen-
like a few minutes from storming the building. I mean,
I guess this is one of those whole, human shield situations.
please tell me that doesn't mean what I think it means.
We think it means exactly what you think it means. We're going to form a human shield around me and my
Okay.
money, and we're going to go out the only door that's available to us, which is be the front door at this juncture.
Okay, I think my life is flashing before my eyes. I'm seeing, getting my graduate degree. I'm seeing when I was 6 and I kicked that dog and I blamed it on the immigrant child and the immigrant child was deported. I'm seeing when I called her a cunt. I shouldn't have said it. For my next question, I don't want to die. How can I get away with not dying? My listeners would be very anxious to know how I could not die.
Young Emilio.
It's Stephen. My name is
You've
Stephen.
got your money there, so you're going to die with some money in your pocket, which is
will-
more than most of us get. But
If I
of
put
course,
it-
there are no pockets on shrouds, as Muto would always say. So we'll put you in the back. It's the best I can do for you.
Thank you.
How about that?
I really appreciate it.
There we go.
Listen, I've never really been one to believe in Stockholm Syndrome, but I feel like there's a connection here.
Oh, you're a good boy, aren't you? I hope that means you survived the day.
Thanks.
Let's go, everybody.
Thanks, Dad.
Everybody gather up. That's right, forming around me.
So
now.
we're all gonna be
We're doing a human shield
in a
situation.
human shield,
Yeah,
and
don't
I'm
think
around
about
the
it.
back.
Yes.
He's marching us towards the doors. I mean, as I just want to say, listeners, as we're all put together, I just want to say, it's the darndest thing. I've just discovered I believe in Jesus, and I really think that my life and my Lord and Savior is going to save me as we begin to go towards which I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.